Sound speeds.
Scene 1, slate 39, take 1.
Mark. Set.
Action 7.
Got that point there, Liam. Keep him calm.
Hey, you haven't paid your tab in months. Look, this goes on the house. But you're going to
When this guy was here, the guy that we call Mike in the movie, back in 1978, he had an ad in the paper, in the Herald, asking for young people to join, to become stunt people. So I went out to Ardmore Studios, joined up with him, and we ended up on the beach. There was about 35 of us, and John was one of those people. And we became friends, and so I've known him since 1978, and we were buddy-buddy, we'd always go everywhere together. And he was kind of like the oldest of the whole group, so he kind of looked after everybody. So we'd always hang out together and do stuff, and then, as I say, we were doing Strumpet City, and so that was great. It was like our first movie, or not movie, but TV show, and we all had some great stunts in that. But then we went on to doing all the shows, which became harder to do because you were basically risking your life for basically no money at all. It was just the whole excitement of coming to see a crowd and jumping bikes, high falls and stuff like that. So as the years went on, we got tired of doing that and we split away from John and this guy that was with him. And John went off to continue on doing shows and live shows.
It's the bottom one, I think. They're all in one.
He did make that phone call the night before the jump and ask his father to come down with the boxes so that he could, obviously I don't know how many boxes he had to get more boxes, but it still wasn't enough to save him. But that's the phone call that Adam does in the phone box there, and he was great, he just really went for it. And he's finding it, during the whole shoot, he's finding it hard and certain things are happening to him that it's kind of like John's around, when he's doing stuff. Yeah, we did a great scene out on the motorbike, he's driving on the motorbike, and we're going along, and I didn't ask him to do it, we were going along on the bike, and as we were tracking with him, he just dropped his hands and went out into, which was, John's signature of movement. When he did the high fall, it was a crucifixion, and he just did it himself. And when we got him off the bike, he was a wreck, he was very emotional about the whole thing. So that was great. So this whole film has been blessed with stuff like that. I mean, even all the people in the town, the locations that we're getting, it's just, and the way the film looks when we look at it, it's just, looks amazing. When I decided to do it, then I was kind of like, oh God, how am I going to do it? And then I got Paddy McCartney as the producer on board, and then he got the DOP sorted out, and then we were going, who are we going to put in the film? And I know Simon Delaney for a long time, but I didn't really want to ask him because I'm always asking him to do stuff for me, so I said, no, I won't ask him. But then we were at a funeral together, and Simon asked me what I was doing, and I told him the story, and he said, okay, I'll do it. I don't care what it is, I'll do it for you.
So this is the third film that I've done with Alan Walsh, who's writer and director. The first time I was ever on a film set in my life was an Alan Walsh film, 25 years ago I think it was. And that introduced me to the business, and I learned an awful lot over the course of that week filming with them about how to work on set, how to behave on set, how to work with the crew, and what everybody's departments were. It was a great grounding for me. And then we made another short film, probably 10 years later, about another couple of stuntmen. Alan would say it's not biographical, but I think it was, called What If. And this is the third one now, so I suppose this is our trilogy, that we've completed our trilogy. So Mike is kind of, I've met Mike, you know. I've met this person before, having spent years on film sets, and so Mike is kind of, he's, I suppose in today's world he'd be called the stunt coordinator. He's the boss. He's the man who organises the lads' work, and he's he's under pressure, as is my cigarette. Where's it gone? Ah, fuck, it won't fall any further. So yeah, Mike is under pressure. There's not a lot of work out there, and he's got a crew to keep going. And there's always the problems of the next big job with Mike. There's a big film coming in, but of course that never happens. So Mike is on his arse. The lads are struggling, and in order just to keep things going, there's a job comes in, and it's not very well paid, but it's a few bob. And he thinks, I'll take it, I'll get the lads to go down to Wexford and do the job. And the rest is history. He's one of my favourite directors to work with. They're very noisy, aren't they? They're terrible. Jesus, lads, we're trying to make a fucking film down here, and you're making all sorts of fucking noise. Jesus Christ almighty. Well, you see, Jesus, he's doing it now just to fucking annoy me. Paddy, will you ever hold your wish? Right, that's all right, mate. All right, mate. So yeah, this is the third film I've done with Alan. He's one of my favourite directors to work with, and writers. He's what I would describe as he's a very quiet man on set. There's no shouting. There's no, you know, he lets everybody get on with their job, which I think is key to, you know, having a film set run well and smoothly. There's no histrionics, and he's a great writer. You know, he writes real people. So when Alan rings you and says, I'm doing another short, will you do it? You say yes. Where do you want me?
Excellent.
He can pay me for that later on. Anyway. Thank you, Alan. Cash is available. Preferable. Thank you, chaps.
Liam, I think, is I think he's just a voice of reason within this, because one of the things, I mean, when Alan asked me to do this, I read the script, but it's also because I was around at the same time and I knew all the people involved in the incident that's being portrayed and fictionalized. So I think that's a nice, it's a good thing for the memory of the individual involved. So I suppose he's kind of the voice of reason who are telling people, you know, try to do something else, don't actually push for this, you know, just to think about what you're doing. Because there was a terrible, back then everybody was scrambling for work and you took everything you got, and sometimes when things didn't work out they would have not as tragic consequences as this, but particularly with regard to people working on stunts, they have to be extremely careful. And this was just one of those moments when just things didn't work. And I suppose the scenes that I'm in, the barman, are, you know, he's trying to advise somebody just to take it easy, you know, to calm down. So I suppose that and the excitement of getting a gig like this down here, and wanting to do it and to, you know, show off your skills and to give that exhibition of your prowess. So the unfortunate thing that one tiny element was missed, and we have the sad memory of somebody that we lost far too young.
It's running out. I have a business to run. Oh, you're full of promises, but I never see any changes out of you. No, this is the last drink in the house, do you hear me?
I knew all of the people involved very well. I worked on a TV series that's pretty well known to people in Ireland, called Strumpet City. And we shot that in 1979, and there are riot scenes, and there are scenes of you know, a lot of the rioters who are pushed by the police into the Liffey down on the docks. And John was one of those people, as was, you know, that stunt team were involved, so they were all involved in that. They were involved in some of the fight scenes and choreographing some of the fight scenes and some of the, I mean, I had a fight scene in a pub where I'm pushed through the back of a shelving unit, and that was choreographed by that team. So that's how well I would have known them, and I knew them all. And then, you know, on personal things, we would go down to Clifton quite a lot, and so we knew all the people from down there as well. So yeah.
So he fit in, and then the other guys, people just mentioned them to me, and I just rang them and asked them, would they do it? So everybody I told the story to just said, yeah, I'll do it. You know, even down to all the crew. As soon as I said what the story was, they just said, I'm there for it. And you know, like, everyone's here, nobody's getting paid. We had to raise the money from GoFundMe to get, and we did. Within 2 weeks, we had the money. So it's kind of like, you know, we're just hoping that John's up there going, you know, there you go, there's the money, make my movie. You know, I want us to be on the screen. So yeah, so he's going to be on the screen. Even down to getting the jacket, we got a jacket made for him, stunt jacket. And that, you know, we came up with the idea one night and we got it printed and we had the jacket the next night. Again, all for nothing. So it's been really weird, you know, the way things have happened.
Alan reached out to me, and kind of out of the blue, which is always great. And I met up with him, had a good chat, and he told me about John Condren and the kind of his harrowing story about his life and Alan's life as stuntman, and then about the fateful day that he jumped off in Taghmon. So just by chatting to him, you could see the passion that he had for it. Yeah, he's brilliant for that, Alan. Like, he'll send you pictures, or always open to any questions regards to script, or he's great with directing. He kind of gives us a lot of room to discover stuff, which could be right or wrong, or with anything. Well, there's nothing wrong. It's just like he's brilliant for like letting you express something. So I kind of stayed away from looking at loads of pictures and all from the start. I just wanted to kind of figure out why, or your own reason for things first, because there obviously has to be something in you with playing it. But then as you come into the town, you see the tower, there's pictures there, the costume. So yeah, he gives you a lot of ammo, Alan. It's brilliant. What next? I'm going to sleep for a while. I'm doing some. So I'm doing a Hallmark TV series, and then I'm trying to get a film made of my own. So I'll give Alan a shout and see how the hell he pulled this off.
So I'm playing young Frankie, who's in the older timeline, who also is very passionate about doing stunts. He really looks up to John, Adam's character, and he would also like to be more involved in stunts, but he's not quite as experienced as John. My agent reached out to me after Alan reached out and said that there was an opportunity to work with Alan on this film, and when I saw the story, I was just immediately, I really wanted to do it. It was such an interesting story, I hadn't heard about it before, and I met with Alan and he told me more about it, and how connected he was to it, and I saw his passion for it, and it made me really want to do it. It's a really moving story, and very, very important to the people of Taghmon. So it was important to do a good job, you know, to do the story justice and to do John justice. I think the whole cast and crew felt that. And filming it was a really, really beautiful experience. Everyone was a really It was a really, really nice team, and also people who are brilliant at their craft. Alan got together such a great group of people. And in terms of myself, I trained as an actor at the Lear in Dublin, the Lear Academy, and since then I've been working mostly in theatre. But it's really nice to do some screen stuff, and to be doing more contemporary things now. And Isabel, who's playing John's girlfriend in it, I actually trained with her at the Lear as well, so I've known her for a very long time, and we've been in multiple projects together.
I'm Isabel Harriott. I'm playing Sarah in the film. Sarah is John's girlfriend. And yeah, it was nice to sort of be part of the portrayal of like that other part of John's life, like away from the stunts and the job, and sort of show that sort of softer side, and you know what could have been like, yeah, like the idea of them moving in together and starting a family. So yeah. So I got involved in the film through so I graduated from the Lear last year, the same as Connor, and one of our teachers, Kieran, he got in touch with me, and he taught us stage combat, so you know he has done a lot of stunts himself, and he's someone who knows Alan, the director, so Alan reached out to him to see if he knew anyone who might be able to play Sarah, and so Kieran kind of got me in touch that way. It was really moving, I would say, and also very special to have the screening in Wexford, and also with a lot of the people of Taghmon who came, and who were there at the event when it happened. They've done such a good job, the whole team, on it. It looks really, really beautiful. It's really beautifully shot, and I'm not surprised considering how great all the crew and cast were on the days. Yeah, it was a very moving experience. So it's really nice to be involved in something true, and you know, like seeing the film and seeing it, you know, be sort of screened in the place where it happened is so like meaningful. Like you see, you know, these are people who actually like witnessed or you know heard the story, like grew up with the story, and you know it's a part of the sort of history of the village now. So yeah, it's really nice to be part of something true and sort of try and tell that story like authentically. Yeah.
Paddy McCartney, the producer on the project, he was I do sound engineering, live sound engineering as well, so I would have been out with a film crew doing sound, where Paddy would have been the director on some projects that we were doing. I was tormenting for years about doing some music for a film. And just out of the blue, one day he rang me and said, like, they've got this project that's going on, they need music, do I want to do it? And I said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. So at that stage it was me involved, and then I gave Hellfire, or it's not Hellfire, it's Barnell.
Yeah, well...
Barnell post-production studio is what we're calling it. I gave them a shout and got them involved as well. I did the score and the tracks. And then I brought it to Hellfire Studio to Ivan.
Yeah, and I mixed it. There you go.
And did the sound design.
And some sound design as well, bits and bobs here and there, just to kind of fill it out a little bit. And
I knew he was getting tired of it. When I used to meet him and have drinks with him, I knew he was getting tired of it. He wanted to go somewhere else. He wanted to just settle down. And if somebody wanted him to do a show, then he'll think about it and do it if he wanted to. But he'd lost the interest because it was just getting too dangerous. So, yeah, so he called me and asked me would I come down. I didn't make it. And, you know, when I look back on it now and everyone's always telling me, they kind of, you know, that shocked me. So I've always been trying to make up for not being there for him, you know. So that's why I suppose I'm really making the movie, is to make up for not being there. So, you know, that's That's really the heart of the whole film, I think.